Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Way Showers. Today is 5/16/2019, 9:36 a.m., the 3, 6, and the 9. Tesla said the key to the universe. There's the 3, 6, and 9. That's coming through for many people, especially the 144, which also just popped up on my screen as I thought it. These energies are very intense. I want to give you a few updates. I only have about half hour here. Let's see here. These energies are very intense right now. I'm going to give a few updates and then read the latest transmission from Michael Love. Many people are experiencing these ascension symptoms with these solar rays that are coming into Earth this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are going to be inundated with a massive plasma wave from the central sun emanating through our sun. Yesterday, I was contacted by several people about major ascension symptoms they're experiencing. One, their wife went to the hospital in the morning. She thought she had strep, and they didn't find she did not have it. And this is part of that, the throat from the last couple of weeks, the throat, from the new moon and these energies coming in for the throat chakra. And then for this full moon on the 18th, this Saturday, in Scorpio, this for the root chakra, the lower dantian. So also a friend, a divine feminine counterpart, contacted me, and she felt like yesterday she was ready to leave the matrix. She was feeling like blacking out, and then she laid in the sun and ground into the earth, and then she had trouble even moving. Every joint in her body was inflamed, hurting, severe pain. I had to go to her to transmit some chi, some Kunlun energy, healing energy, and do a little bit of body work. And then a couple people talking about the last few days with episodes of the Dark Night of the Soul, which I understand all these things. I've been through these many times. Since 4 years old, I've had hundreds of dark nights of the soul. I kind of chuckle when I hear a teacher say, I had this dark night of the soul, and then I had this awakening, and I always think, you lucky son of a gun. I had to go through hundreds and hundreds of dark nights of the soul to attain any kind of awareness. I'm just kidding. This isn't I'm not kidding. I did go through hundreds, but this isn't a contest in suffering. Most of the masters and teachers I've trained with and studied their works and teachings, they talk about the great suffering they went through to attain their awakening, to attain their enlightenment, and that once they attained it, they realized that it's not necessary to have to go through that much suffering to put their bodies through it. And I've been through it. I mean, there were hundreds of times, sitting in full lotus. My late teens, early 20s, I would go to the temple, the monastery, and they call full lotus posture, where you sit with your right foot on your left thigh and your left foot on your right thigh. It's like you're almost wrapping yourself up like a pretzel. And as you sit there for a half hour and then an hour, I can't tell you how many times my legs totally fell asleep, and it felt like knives were jabbing into my thighs and knees, but I would sit totally still and go into the silence, to where like people that witnessed me at times, there'd be, most people are moving around and getting up or doing whatever, resituating. People saw me sitting there, and they'd come up to me after practice and say, man, you were sitting there like a mountain. they would watch, they said I couldn't even see me breathe because I would go so deep into the stillness. So you didn't, I watched you the whole time and I didn't even see you move once. Because I was pretty extreme, I thought that's how the master sat, so that's how I'm sitting. I'm being Taurus, I'm pretty stubborn. But I can't tell you how many times, every time you sit like that, at least for me and most people, your legs totally fall asleep because it cuts off the circulation, at least one or sometimes both, and then your back sometimes as you're sitting there, with a straight spine after a half hour, depending on the energies, you could feel like someone's sticking a knife in your back. So the sensei or Roshi, sensei is teacher in Japanese. Roshi is like master or teacher in Japanese, like the Zen masters, they call them Roshi, Roshi. They would come around with this like bamboo type stick. It would freak people out sometimes. But as they're walking behind you, you bow, and they hit you in the shoulders. They whack you with them, but that gets the chi flowing through your body, and it's almost you look forward to it because it's that moment where it's not that it's abuse, but people sometimes would see you getting whacked with a bamboo stick. But it was hit in a certain way where they hit acupuncture points in your what do they call those? Your traps or whatever, from your shoulder to your neck. And it would get the chi flowing, and it would loosen up the spine and get the energies flowing smoothly. So, but we realize that once you realize your true nature, that suffering wasn't necessary, but most people do go through that great suffering, because in that suffering, which I talked about that in the video yesterday about the lotus flower coming out of the mud, the muck, the dirt, the filth, to come up, reach through the water into the sky, into the ear, to bloom in this beautiful blossom. So that symbolizes, you see that like the Buddha sitting on the lotus flower, because the lotus many times symbolizes the awakening or enlightenment, because it's such a beautiful mystical plant. I also wanted to real quick talk about, I'm going to talk about a couple things and then read the transmission, but last night I received another massive download in the middle of the night, then woke up with the root chakra very sensitive, very intense energies. It's like the Kundalini waking up, reawakening, that fire, the phoenix rising from the ashes. I'll talk more about that in a minute. I wanted to also real quick address someone. I talked yesterday about the sandhill crane walking up to me, and someone said it was probably a great blue heron. And the only reason I mention that, because I know how rare that is, because sandhill cranes are more timid than some other birds. But I know the difference between a great blue heron and sandhill crane. I wasn't offended that someone thought I was mistaken, because I know that's the only reason I mentioned it. For a sandhill crane to come up to you, it's very rare, but this is another sign of what we're going to see on the new earth, where the new earth is manifesting, it's accelerating, and it'll be where the creatures, the animals of Gaia, will no longer be afraid of humans, because that's part of the vision that many people are seeing, where humans and animals walk hand in hand. And, the great blue herons, that's one of my spirit animals, and I've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours taking thousands of pictures. I've been doing nature and wildlife photography for 25 years, and 10 years of that, I shot thousands of slides, and in the last 15 years, thousands and thousands of digital images. I just don't have time to edit most of them. On my website, Nature Lover Photographer, I only have probably 88, because truthfully, I'd much rather be out in nature, going for hikes, taking photos than actually sitting in front of a computer and editing them. I wish I could find someone that would go through, because all the slides would need to be scanned and then edited, uploaded, labeled. It's very time consuming, and then the digital images have to all be edited and uploaded and edited, labeled, so I just don't have the time. It's very time consuming. I use Lightroom and Photoshop to edit those. When I was walking the Medicine Way, the Red Road, there were several times the Great Blue would leave their feathers for me, and it was part of the manifestation, the law of attraction, because being one of my spirit animals, I would visualize the feather and they would leave it. And after that, even though I spent hundreds of times with many different Great Blues, that they've never left their feather since then. That was about 20 years ago. And what's funny is I'm not great with time. Everything's becoming more spatial. But about 15 years ago, I was at the same nature preserve I was at yesterday. And I was doing videography. I used to shoot film too. I still do here and there. I do photography and videography. I've been published like in Birds and Blooms magazine and several other publications and calendars, and I used to shoot for a stock agency and that, but it's just something I do more for fun anymore. There's so much competition, it's difficult to make money unless if you work for National Geographic or something. So about 15, 20 years ago, I was doing a lot of videography, and I was at the same nature preserve, and I don't know if it was the same sandhill crane or a different one, but I was filming them with my camera, and it walked right up to me and started pecking on the legs of my tripod. And a woman, a female photographer, was walking up and witnessed it, and she took slides, photos, and she ended up getting my information and sending me a slide of me on the ground, sitting on the ground with the camera and the tripod and the sandhill crane pecking at the legs. And she knew what a rare occurrence it was, but I'm not sure if it's the same sandhill crane. I doubt it, but it could be the offspring, and maybe it got the same kind of courage from its mother. So yeah, we have lots of egrets. There's at this preserve, there's a breeding pair of sandhill cranes, and then there's many great white egrets and great blue herons, and I know them all well. I've spent a lot of time with these creatures. They're my brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to clarify that in case because I know how rare it is. That's the only reason I mentioned it, but it's not a big deal. So on to the last night, and this is the third major download I've had in, I think, the last 3 weeks. And each time as I go into that stillness, as I'm laying in bed under the pyramid, and I have a copper pyramid I've been sleeping under for like 20 years. It's hanging from my ceiling. It has crystal from the apex, and then feathers that the Great Spirit has gifted me in the 4 corners of the pyramid, because that's for the winged nation, for the messengers, and it to help with my flight in the astral plane. So each time before these codes came in, I felt kind of like I was falling as I go into the deep stillness and almost blacking out, feeling like I'm leaving the matrix. Like all 3 times I felt like this is it. Time to disappear. Time to ascend. And then the codes start coming in, and last night it was the most complex sequences of images. It was almost like letters and symbols that were upside down, flowing down in these they're getting more complex each download that I'm getting. So in the next few days, I don't want to do some of the transmissions, some of the frequencies and energies, because I don't want to blow my phone up. But once I get my new mic, the Yeti, the abominable snowman, I'll start doing some more of these frequency energy transmissions. Hopefully I won't destroy another mic, but whatever, it'll be worth it in the end. So leave a comment below this video on what you're experiencing. I know many people, I put out the video yesterday about the solar activity and the symptoms that people are experiencing. Like I said, 4 people in one day, 4 connections contacted me by phone. A sister of mine also called and was saying she was probably going to go to the hospital because of abdominal bloating and intestinal blockage or something. I mean, she's had CF or cystic fibrosis for 50 years, so it's not uncommon, but it was something very strange in the last few days that was occurring. And she said she felt, put on like 8 pounds in 8 days or something and not eating. So it's pretty crazy stuff. I know many people are feeling like they're losing it. Just know that everything is going to balance out. You just have to keep going through and through and through. It's what one of the Zen masters used to teach us. Keep on going through and through until you reach the promised land, until you reached nirvana. It's like you never give up, you never look back. And I'd never say never. It's one of those things where we keep plugging along until the fruits of our labor manifest. Our roots are deeply grounded into the 3D, to where our 4D bodies, our 4D light bodies are reaching up into the heavens, and then from our branches the fruit will bloom, will grow, the flowers will blossom, and we will manifest this new earth together. So no fear, just know that you are not alone. Many people are experiencing these energies, these symptoms. And we're all feeling it, brothers and sisters. So this weekend's going to be a huge weekend for these waves coming in, for the codes coming in. And then the next few weeks will be integrating those codes and grounding them into Gaia, bringing them into Gaia, into the ley lines of Earth, into the dragon lines, as our DNA is being transformed from double strand to the 12-stranded crystalline sequence. As we release and purge the old 3D matrix, we let in and allow the 4D and 5D into our DNA, into our atoms, into our cellular structure, which is the code, the programming, the codes of the DNA. So the 37 and the 73 are coming through, which the 37 is the external, or the earth, and the internal is the 73, or what we call heaven. So we're bringing the 37 and the 73 together, merging heaven and earth, to help with this manifestation process. And we're all doing this. All starseeds are like grounding rods into the field, what I call the field, which is the chi, or the vital life force of Gaia, of the universe, which we are. We are one with this energy. We are part of this energy. So this is from last night, from Michael Love, or yesterday. The event, major DNA upgrade in progress, moderate ascension symptoms, 515-2019. Now he says moderate, but the people, it could be moderate to extreme for depending on what we have left to purge, what we have left to release. And that's based on my experience and what other Lightworkers and Starseeds that are contacting me are saying and experiencing. The Earth Alliance and Earth Space Weather Agencies are monitoring heightened activity around the Sun as light forces continue deflecting different frequencies of light from the central Sun towards planet Earth. A massive solar filament has turned direct Earth-facing and is directing powerful gamma rays towards the planet. This huge filament is unstable and superactive and has been ejecting out multiple moderate CMEs. A large coronal hole is also turning towards Earth at the same time and is streaming super high-speed solar winds towards the planet. Planetary space weather forecasts show inbound moderate solar windstorms over the next few Earth days. These solar winds contain central Sun Akashic light data and are traveling at over 1 million miles per hour and contain nano-sized magnetic ionized particles that strip right through the human body genome, clearing out all low vibrational energies and recoding DNA to a higher order. Intense pressure has been applied to the Earth's magnetic field over the last 48 hours, as seen in red on the current geospace magnetosphere. And wait, there's more. To make all of this even more intense, 5D 40 Hz gamma beams from the central Sun have been blasting us every few days for several weeks now. These 40 Hz energy beams are being intelligently deflected to Earth by advanced, benevolent beings assisting with the ascension of the starseeds and humans on the surface of the planet. These powerful gamma laser streams originate from the central Sun at the galactic core and refracted to Earth via massive light ships that are docked around the Sun. Russian DNA science proves that DNA is instantly recoded when subjected to gamma laser light. These 5D level energy spikes can be monitored on the Schumann resonance chart, also on our space weather tool page, and that's on 5dearthproject.com. Starseeds all around the globe have been reporting moderate to strong ascension symptoms over the last 2 Earth days. Here are some reported ascension symptoms from the last light influx. Dull headache, accelerated dehydration, back, kidney pains, third eye pressure, sinus aches, feeling spaced out and disoriented, tiredness, sleep difficulty, and vivid dreams. These ascension symptoms are results of the natural DNA activation process that is occurring in this cosmos. There is no cause for serious concern as long as you hydrate, practice gentle self-care, avoid stress as much as possible, get some rest and sleep, and just take it slow and easy until these light codes integrate into the body. You will feel super awesome and be more advanced and much stronger when this is done, so hang in there. Let us know what you're experiencing from this latest solar photon light blast. Godspeed, great beings of light. And that's from Michael Love and the Pleiadians. And I also can confirm that these plasma waves this weekend are going to be more intense and help with this ascension process. So just be aware, be awake, get plenty of rest, drink plenty of water, get out to nature if you can. It also helps, if you take a bath, bring some crystals into the water. I like to put a crystal on my middle dantian, that's the heart center, the heart chakra, in the center of your chest. As I lay in the water, I'll use Epsom salt with lavender and chamomile. You can use aromatherapy, burn some incense right now. What is very beneficial is frankincense and sandalwood. Also, lavender is good to help relax the mind, relax the body. Where the mind goes, the chi flows. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining me here today. I wanted to thank everyone that is joining us on our CBD team to raise funds for the Ecuador Healing Retreat Center. I spoke with someone on the team last night, and they said they're planning to potentially go down to Ecuador to spend some time there, travel around, get to learn the country, get to make friends, learn more about the culture, and look for land for a reasonable price. So I'll keep you up to date on that. I have several connections in Ecuador that own land, and that a couple of them have a retreat type center, and one couple, husband and wife, are engineers building sustainable buildings down there, and they own a lot of property, supposedly, a lot of land, which I have to follow up to learn more about what they're doing. But it's the whole project's in the development and research stage until I can raise enough funds to actually go there myself. I would need to spend at least a month to travel around. I'm looking many synchronicities with Vilcabamba, and it's spelled Vilcamba, something like that. See, it's on my Prime Disclosure page under Tao de Ecuador. Yeah, it's Vilcabamba, Vilcabamba. So if you'd like to contribute and be part of this fundraising project, we're using a company called CTFO that makes CBD products, cannabinoid oils that are organic and non-GMO, high quality products. You can either click the link in the description below or go to cbdpeaceoil.com and sign up as a distributor, and I will be in contact in the future. I'm backed up a couple of weeks because we have 180 people on our team, and I'm trying to help as many people as I can to help build their business. So it's a process. I'm just one person, so I'm trying to do the best I can to help as many people as I can. And I'm also meeting with someone today that spent the last month in Nepal learning how to build earth domes, dome homes made out of earth, made out of dirt and sandbags and some other techniques. So I'll give you an update on that. I call them moon cocoons, or other people have coined that term. They're these adobe type domes. I think that one company is called Cal Earth. They're in California. It was an Iranian scientist that came up with the concept of these moon cocoons. You can Google search that and do some more research. But my vision is a huge dome in the center of the property, which would be a temple and a healing center. There'll be different healing technologies and working with local natives and shamans and other healers. We have acupuncturists that are contacting us, body workers, yoga teachers, Reiki masters, a whole many people, at least 100 people have contacted me that want to be part of this project, and it resonates with them. So I wanted to thank everyone for reaching out. I'm trying to keep up with all the emails, the messages, the comments. I'm doing the best I can, so thank you for your patience. Hang in there. Stay in the heart center. Keep walking your path with heart. And we are doing it, brothers and sisters. We are on mission. We are here to help all of humanity, all life, all beings through all dimensions, through this collective ascension process. So I want to thank each and every one for your connection, for your love, for your light, for sharing with us your experiences. Much love, light, and blessings. I love you all. Namaste.